Welcome back to the Super Memory for Schools. Today, I will be with you in English Grade 8 program, Unit 4, Our Past, Lesson 1. We will learn some vocabulary that will appear in this lesson. Great-grandma, great-grandmother,
bà cố,
great-grandpa, great-grandfather,
ông cố,
folktale, folktale,
câu chuyện dân gian,
thatched cottage, thatched cottage,
nhà tranh,
country land, country land, country land,
đường làng,
look after, look after, look after.
trông nom, chăm sóc.
He looks after his sister, sister.
Anh ấy chăm sóc em của mình.
We have the verb light is verb 2 is lead and verb 3 is lead, lead, light, lead, lead.
Thắp đèn, đốt đèn, châm đèn gì đấy.
Modern, modern.
Là hiện đại.
In the grammar part today, we will revise one of tenses which you learned in grade 7. That is past simple tense.
Thì quá khứ đơn.
I think that you may have learned it many times since you were in grade 7, so I will talk briefly about the usage. I said that the past simple is used to describe an action that happened in the past, or has just ended and it no longer continues to the present. About the formula we will have, the formula of the past simple, you have to keep in mind two groups of verbs. Firstly, to be verb, and secondly, regular verb. When the to be verb is in affirmative sentence, we have subject plus was, were. If the subject is singular, you use the verb was, which has a few letters. If the subject is plural, you use the verb were, which has many letters. That is the way for you to keep in mind. In the negative form, with the verb to be, we have subject plus was, were plus not. In the question form with the yes-no question, we will put was, were at the beginning of the sentence and move the subject at the end of the sentence. With the regular verb, this is the difficulty of past simple tense. With the regular verbs, the affirmative sentence will have the formula subject plus verb to ed. The most difficult thing in the past simple tense, I think, that we have to learn by heart those verb to, or it is called irregular verbs. About the regular verbs, we add ed at the end of the word. Negative sentences, you add an auxiliary verb, did not or didn't, and use an infinitive verb behind it. With the question form, we swap did to the beginning of the sentence. After that, our subject and infinitive verb behind. That is the formula of the past simple tense in two verbs groups, to be and normal verb. Here are signs that help you to know when you should use simple past tense. It has these words: yesterday,
Ngày hôm qua,
ago,
trước đó,
last,
trước đó,
last week,
tuần trước,
last year,
năm trước,
last month,
tháng trước,
past, the day before, or the period of time that happened on the day like today, this morning, this afternoon. For example, this year is 2021, but the topic is in 1990. This sentence must use simple past tense. For instance, I have a sentence, my mom was a teacher.
Mẹ tôi đã từng là một giáo viên.
He wasn't a good kid.
Anh ấy đã từng không phải là một đứa trẻ ngoan.
We have, they played video games yesterday.
Bọn họ đã chơi trò chơi điện tử vào ngày hôm qua.
Played is a regular verb, so you add ed. Tom didn't go to school last week because he was sick.
Anh ấy đã không có đi học vào tuần trước bởi vì anh ấy bị bệnh.
We can see this is a negative sentence. We use the auxiliary verb didn't and the verb becomes the infinitive verb go. Well, let's sum up what we have learned in the lesson today. We've got great-grandma, great-grandma, or great-grandmother.
Bà cố,
Great-grandpa, great-grandpa, or great-grandfather.
ông cố.
Folktale, folktale, folktale.
Chuyện dân gian,
Thatched cottage, thatched cottage.
nhà tranh,
We have a group of verbs light, lead.
thắp đèn, châm đèn,
Look after, look after.
chăm sóc,
Countryland, countryland, countryland.
đường làng,
Modern, modern.
hiện đại.
And today, we had revised a bit of a usage of the past simple tense.
Thì quá khứ đơn.
Notice, we will divide into two groups of verbs where we use simple past tense. The group verbs to be. In the affirmative form, we have subject plus was, were. In the negative form, we have subject plus was, were plus not. In the question form, we will swap was, were to the beginning of the sentence, was, were plus subject. About the regular verb, this is harder than the irregular verb. In the affirmative sentence, we would use subject plus verb to or verb ed. With the regular verbs, we only add ed. But with the irregular verbs, we have to learn them by heart by the table of the regular verbs. There's no other way, guys. With negative sentences, we have subject plus did not plus infinitive verb. And the question, we will swap the auxiliary verb to the beginning of the sentence and the subject after plus infinitive verb. Those are the things that you need to memorize in Unit 4, our past Lesson 1, in the English Grade 8 today. See you in the next lesson of Super Memory for Schools episode. Goodbye, see you again.